Hey guys, Dale from Schwartz Performance here for our October 2019 shop update. Right behind me, I've got this 54 Studebaker, and we are putting a LT4 dry sump crate engine into it, backed by a GM 8-speed automatic. So Doug's in the middle of the chassis fab right now, and we're getting ready to test fit the engine and transmission in here to see what kind of modifications need to be done. We've got a new project here. Geoffs 56 Chevy came to us for some of the final assembly work to get it all wired up and plumbed so it can be running and driving. So we had shipped the chassis to Geoff maybe a year or two ago, and he had another shop doing a lot of the work on it for the paint and body work. And they installed the engine and transmission in here. It's got a Chevrolet Performance 495 horse crate engine and a Chevrolet Performance 4L70 automatic transmission behind it. So we are in the middle of the wiring right now and exhaust fabrication. It's getting dual 3-inch stainless steel exhaust, all mandrel bent and TIG welded like we normally do. And it's got dual exhaust cutouts that are electronic, so at a flip of a switch you can open up the exhaust to make it really loud. And we threw some ultimate headers on here. They're 1 7/8" primary, so there'll be plenty of breathing room for this 495 horse crate engine. We got the Nelson Racing engine unpacked from the crate and installed in the Tony 70 Chevelle here. If you remember from last month, this thing made 921 horsepower on pump gas. We've got most of the plumbing completed, the fuel lines run, the AC and heater hoses connected. So next on the list is going to be the air intake tube and some of the other plumbing to the radiator. So I wanted to touch on one of the ways that we do our radiator hoses. Now this is a stainless steel tube that we fabricate with mandrel bends, and we bead roll the edge for the hose to clamp onto. And this beats going to the auto parts store, standing in front of a wall for 2 hours, looking for a radiator hose that might work or might not work. So also the end result looks very nice when you have a fabricated pipe that's nice and powder coated or painted in the engine bay. So we finally have our Tempest back on the road after months of downtime. We weren't able to bring this to any shows this year because of some engine parts issues, but now it's running and has a lot more horsepower than it did before. Previously it rear-wheeled right around 400 horsepower, and now it's about 710. So we added E85, we added an LSA supercharger, lower compression pistons, and kept the LS9 forged crank that we had in it before. That's part of what we were waiting on to get the engine back together. We still got the 6-speed manual behind it, so we added a lot of horsepower, and we're really excited to see what this thing can do on more road course racing next year. So for the last couple of weeks we've been working on Charles's exhaust system for his 79 Hurst Olds. Ken finished up the custom headers and the custom 3-inch exhaust system on this. We typically use a X-pipe on all of the exhausts that we do. Mandrel bent stainless steel full exhaust, nice TIG welded. This one's got Magnafold mufflers out back and SLP resonators. Now that the exhaust work is done on this thing, we can start blowing apart for paint. Speaking of getting ready for paint, Kimber 67 Chevelle is just about there. We've got the Goodmark 2-inch cowl hood fit to it now, and got pretty much everything done underneath the car and all the plumbing, so it's going to be getting stripped soon and getting final body work and paint. The final color that's going to be on here is a similar red, but it's going to have more of a pop, as the customer calls it. It's going to have more metallic in it. And with the American Racing gray wheels and polished lip, this thing is going to look stunning when it's complete. Just finished up body work and paint on Joe's 69 GTO Firewall here. We've got the chassis all back from powder coat and fully assembled. The engine and transmission will be going in it soon, and then the whole assembly will be installed underneath this body so we can continue the final assembly. We've got Henri's 74 Nova back from the paint shop temporarily. Matt Eby is coming out soon to do the custom graphics down the side of it and on the hood that Tavis Highlander had designed in the rendering that he did for this car. You can't really see it, but the black is going to be metallic black. It'll look really sharp in the sunlight, and the gray is also metallic gray to match. So with the gloss red, everything cleared over top, it's going to look awesome. Well, it's been another busy month here at Schwartz Performance. Thank you guys so much for watching. You know, SEMA's coming up in a couple of weeks here. Geoff will have his yellow Scion FRS out at the Optima Ultimate Streetcar Challenge. So it'll be in Optima Alley. Look for it there, and look for him and my sister Justina. They'll be walking around the show. We will not have any other cars at SEMA in any booths, but we will have something pretty special at the PRI show in December. So stay tuned for more updates on that. With that, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to this channel to keep in touch with all of our shop updates. We'll see you next month.